Hey, so I want to show you how I create this look in time for prom season. So I'm going to go in with the Beauty Bay eye primer and this brush. This brush was from Primark and it's really good. So let's pop a bit on my eyes. And we're just going to pat that in. Like so. So I'm going to go on with the Evolve palette. This is from Beauty Bay and I will show you why. So this has a really good shade range. It's numbered, and also if you turn it around, I know I'm not going to be able to show you, it has highlight, pop, liner, crease, transition and a base. So it's kind of your guide. So if you go along, I'll show you. So let's just stick with number one. So if we go down to number one, crease. So this is from Brush Candy. It's the BC09. I love these brushes. I always use them. You'll notice I always use them. Love them. Okay, so we're just going to take that on a medium fluffy brush. Tap off the extra and we're just going to go into that crease. Now, I have hooded eyes. So if you look directly, I know where it is. So. But yeah, if you have hooded eyes, just look straight ahead and we're just going to pop it in there. You can see the colour and you can see the kind of shape that you want to make. So we want to just stamp that colour on. We're not worrying about blending it out, we're just getting it on there. So you have something like this. So we're going to come along to our transition shade, this one. Now I'm going in with a fluffier brush. This is the Brush Candy BC08. I'm just going to pick up that transition shade and we're just going to go along that line. So we want to lightly blend this out. Look at where I'm holding the brush. We're just going through that lightly and just blending it out. You can go back in with the dark, so don't worry. We're just concentrating on blending this out for a second. Like so. So blend it out until you've got something like this. You see the shape? Okay. Don't worry too much if any eyeshadow falls onto your face. I always do my eyes first for that specific reason. I'll show you how to clean it up. Okay. So now I just want to cut the crease. So I just get some micellar water on a cotton bud and just make out my shape. Take it halfway across, just under the eye, so you can still see the dark popping around. Just clean it up a bit. So you have something that looks like this, ready for your base. So now I'm going to go in with the flat concealer brush. This is the Brush Candy BC21. I'm going to take our Beauty Bay eye base, pop a bit on the back of your hand. Don't need a lot. Okay, we're going to get our mirror, pick up a bit of that product, and we're just going to go in and stamp our shape. Now this is what she did all the time. She goes to the cashier, she hands them a check, but the check bounced, and because of this she was sent to prison for 30 days. Now that seems very extreme to me. Like, why does anyone like so? Okay, so you want to end up something that looks like this. Then we can go in with our base. So you can go in with a flatter brush. This is the Brush Candy BC10 and we're going to go in with our base, which is this one. Pick some up on the brush, dust off any extra. We're just going to pat that in. Okay, right up to where that dark is. Like so. With that same base brush, just want to very gently just go along to diffuse that line. You don't need hardly any pressure, just go up and down. So you get something that looks like that. Same on the other side. Just gently diffuse that line. Okay, I'm ready for our next shade. So we're going to go back in with our crease brush. I don't put any more product on, I just use what's already on the brush, and we're just going to blend those two colours together. Ever so gently, I want some control, I don't want it back here. So it's something like this. You see the difference? Okay, now that we've got this, I want some shimmer. So we've got these two shades here at the bottom. One's for a highlight and one's for a pop of colour. So we're just going to go in with the pop, pick it up on my BC7, tap off the extra, and I just want to go in here. Ever so gently. So just got a bit of a shimmer on that lid. Okay, so you're going to have something that looks like this. And then we're going to go in with the highlight. Just pick that up on a little brush. This is the Jeffree Star Morphe one, JS13. We're just going to pop that just right here. In our inner corner, like so. So I'm going to go in with the liquid liner. I think I'm going to use the liner in the palette to do my under eyes. So we'll take our liner, this is the tattoo liner from Kat Von D, and we're just going to follow. And side note, if any of you watching this are familiar with this case, Sharon Marshall is probably a familiar name to you, and that is because in a lot of sources on this case, Suzanne is actually referred to as Sharon Marshall because Suzanne's true identity was that line round. Decades later. So you'll have something that looks like this. Okay, and we're going to go in with our mascara. This is the MUA Makeup Academy one. I actually got this one for free. You buy 2 products in Superdrug and you got this free, so we like a bargain. Just going to go through those lashes. I have so many questions when it comes to this case, but to this day we actually don't know the answers to all of these questions. No one actually has any idea of what Suzanne's life was like on a day-to-day basis for those first 10 years or so. Okay, so now we're ready for lashes. Now I ordered these from Amazon. They're not going to be ones that you can reuse and reuse and reuse, but they're cheap and they do the job. They come in 4 different styles. I think I'm going to go in with these. Yeah, we'll go in with those. So we want to take our lash and we just want to measure it first. See how much we're going to take off. So I just need to take off that end bit there. So I'm going to go in with the Dark Matter from Be Perfect eyelash glue, and what I like to do is just pop a tiny bit on the inside and on the outside. Just go where that eyeliner was. Okay, and then I'll pop the glue on the actual last band, just along the rim. But she was also in a position where she couldn't exactly say no, but she was trying to get out of it. She was saying, oh, I don't really have anything to wear, like I don't know about this. And then Franklin says, and we're just going to wait for that to go tacky. Okay, when that lash glue is tacky, I'm going to get our mirror, look down, and then just pop the lashes on. Just take the sides down. And then just go in and push that together. And Suzanne says to Jennifer that her dad lets her have this stuff and that he even buys it for her. But anyway, Franklin takes them to a club. Like so, and then you've got your lash on. Right, so we've got our lashes on, we've got our eyes done, our eyebrows are on. We're going to go in with the face now. So I'm going to use the Technique Jelly Primer. I think I got this one at B&M, it's like $2.99. So we're going to go in with this one to prime the face. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. Lasts up to 24 hours, mattifying, water and sweat proof with niacinamide. I'm going to go in with my favourite foundation brush. It is the Brush Candy BCO2. But that is just my theory. I didn't see that anywhere. That is just my theory. I think Franklin is very capable of that. And then after he makes her give up her baby, make sure you go down the neck. Dreams, he makes her pack up her things and move to a new location. Now, you just sweep around your eyebrows, down your nose. And Suzanne spent most of her teenage years in Atlanta as well. Now, I don't put foundation under my eyes, and I'll tell you why. My under eyes crease really bad, so I only ever go under there with concealer. Right, so now I like to go with my contour. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal High Definition Concealer, and it is the shade Toast. So let's go around my forehead, either side. I don't tend to do the middle bit. Like so, down my nose. And over the next couple of years, Suzanne grows incredibly close to Michael. I mean, of course she does, that's her son. But I feel like Suzanne had a particularly strong bond with Michael because prior to Michael, she didn't really have much to live for. Franklin pretty much stripped her of everything. But now she has Michael. Hide that double chin. But unfortunately, the story of Michael would end in complete tragedy. Eventually, Michael would also be dragged into Franklin's past. So you have a shape that sort of looks like this, and then we're going to blend it out. So I'm going to go with my Brush Candy. This is the BC4, and we're just going to pat. Suzanne was forced into working at a strip club. She didn't want to work there. I mean, obviously we know that she had dreams of working for NASA, but as soon as she turned 18, Franklin made her get a job at a strip club. And she was working at a local club in Tampa called Mom's Venus. And even though she didn't want to be there, she made the best of the situation, and she made a lot of friends at the strip club. She was friends with all of the other dancers, and still, like school, on the surface, I'm going to try and keep it in the area that we placed it. People at the club saw her as a really strong, caring mother. They had no idea what was going on behind closed doors. I'm going to pan it into the skin. Okay, so we blend it all out and it will look something like that. Okay, so that's all blended out. I'm going to go in with our concealer. This is one of my favourite concealers. This is the Be Perfect Chroma Cover. Love their foundation. Love Be Perfect. So I'm just going to go in there and just in there. Same on the other side. Down the nose. And these folds on my chin. And just a tiny bit on each side of my face. Okay, I don't put it on my forehead because, as you can see, the light's shining directly on it. So then I'm going to go in with my beauty blender and just blend that out. Keep it in that area. So Suzanne gets involved in these private parties, and Franklin would drive Suzanne and Heather to these private parties. So you've got something like that. I'll blend the rest out. So your face should look something like this at this stage. I'm just going to go in with my setting spray. This is the Pro Base Fixing Spray from MUA Makeup Academy. I'm just going to let that dry, and we're going to go in with our powders. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the MUA loose powder, Invisible Silk. I'm going to take a little bit on my sponge. I just want to carve out that cheekbone. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now, I don't take any more powder. Whatever's left on my sponge, I'll just go around my face, under my eyes. I don't bake. I like a matte face. I know some people like a dewy one. I think it looks like sweat. That's my personal opinion. And that the other woman that she was going to have to do the shoot with was his own daughter, Suzanne. And Cheryl was like, oh no, no. Like so. Okay, now we can go back in with this one, and we're going to go in with the liner. Put underneath our eyes. Tap off the extra. I'm just going to bring it along our eye line. Just connect that with that top line. Like so. Right, so we've done our powder. Now we're going to go in with our bronzer. I'm going to use the Brush Candy BC3 and the Physician Formula's Butter Bronzer. Get some on your brush, tap off the rest, and we're just going to go where we contoured. Kevin, of course, was completely on board. Kevin was all ready to run away with Suzanne, look after her and Michael, be a dad to Michael. And I really wish I could tell you that that happened. I really wish that I could say that Suzanne managed to escape. She managed to start a new life with Kevin. Michael finally has a stable home life, loving parents. Take it down the neck, don't forget your ears. And with what's left on the brush, I'm just gonna found out about her secret relationship. He probably even found out about her plans, and he decided to punish her in the worst way possible. Because just a few days later, Suzanne was walking down the road, and she tragically got hit by a car, and she suffered some really serious injuries that landed her in hospital, and she was in a coma. The driver of the car was never found, and the police put it down to a hit and run. But I think we all like so. Okay, so now we can go in with our blush. I'm going to use the Mama Mitchell blush in Toasted Terracotta. I think this is for sure a new favourite. All they knew is that the night before she passed away, she had been visited by Franklin, and they were left in the room alone. And although it has never been proven, even to this day, but it is thought that when Franklin visited Suzanne, he murdered her. Okay, I'm going to get our beauty blender. I'm just going to blend that in. Suzanne was only 20 years old when he murdered her. She was only 4 years old when he first kidnapped her. For her whole life, she knew nothing but Franklin. And I just wish that Suzanne's story ended differently. I wish that she got her happy ending. I think it's quite clear why Franklin murdered Suzanne. For Suzanne's whole life, Franklin had complete control over her. I've mentioned that throughout the case. It's crazy how much control he has over her, etc. But now, at 20 years old, she now has other priorities. She has a son, Michael, that she wants to look after, care for, do anything for. I just like to run that across my nose with whatever is left. She could see a future with this man and a future with her son. And Franklin could see that like so. Okay, and the last one in this is the highlight. So I'm just going to grab my Brush Candy BCO5, tap my brush in, flick off the extra. Now I'm just going to slightly go along my brow bone. Suzanne was extremely close to Michael. Michael was her whole world, and tragically, Michael would become another and then. So after Suzanne's murder, Franklin was making plans to go on the run. Ever so lightly. Pack up and move, and he was planning on going on the run with Michael. But to go on the run, I put it on the end of my nose. And he was going to claim on just on the bridge here. Insurance policies that Franklin had taken out on Suzanne's life. So I'm going to go in with the P. Louise lip liner in such a flat. Michael would cry for hours and hours on end. He was a very anxious, scared child. Michael would also rock back and forth a lot and bang his head repeatedly against walls. And he also struggled to hold his head up properly. He also had an extreme phobia of small spaces because it's thought that Franklin would shut him in small spaces as punishment. Michael also couldn't speak a single word at 2 years old. So Ernest and Mal clearly had.
And then we're going to go in with the Jeffree Star Hidden Hills.
They loved him, they nurtured him, they were very patient with him, and eventually they managed to undo all of the damage that Franklin had done. Michael had just started to attend school, and he was a bright, happy, cheerful child, and he was at the same developmental stage as his peers. Ernest and Merle had done an absolutely incredible job with Michael, and they were a tight-knit family. Michael had so much.
And you can get these at eBay as well. And I'm just going to go in with a lip gloss thirst trap.
But I wish that this was Michael's ending.
I'm just going to put that here,
This was his happy
here,
ending. He had finally found
and
a
here.
loving, stable family. But Franklin was soon to be released from prison, and Franklin was not going to let that be Michael's happy ending. So whilst in prison, Franklin had been
Like so. Now I'm just going to go do my hair and I'll show you the finished look.
I cannot go into full
So this
detail,
is the
like
finished
play by
look.
play about the actual act itself, because Poland does a really good job filling that information and keeping